Did you know that chocolate was first produced in 1750 BC? Since then, chocolate has proved to be a worthy and profitable venture for any food processing company that chooses to deal with chocolate. Over time, chocolate gained popularity and value to the point that it was used as currency among the Mesoamericans. The popularity of chocolate is not diminished, and it's still one of the most popular things humans have used even a couple of thousand years later. And its popularity has brought about the rise of giant chocolate companies that have continued to leave consumers in a dilemma on what to choose while others secure a loyal customer base. That brings us to today's video, the rivalry between two chocolate giants, Mars and Snickers. Without further ado, let's dive into the video. When thinking of a war between big brands, the Mars versus Snickers war is one of the most iconic you could ever find. It's a bittersweet war with all sorts of twists and turns that you could think of. Mars has been around for more than 5 generations now, and through this period, the company has undergone various evolutions, creating products and services that a lot of people have come to like. The multinational company was started in 1911 by Franklin Clarence Mars, who was taught by his mother how to hand-dip candy and sell it at the age of 19 years. When Mars Company started, it mainly concentrated on fresh candy wholesale. Unfortunately, the new venture failed because a new company competed with the better established company, Brown and Haley, which was also based in Tacoma. The failed venture sent Mr. Mars back to his home state of Minnesota. At that time, the Mars that we know today was known as Bar Company in Minneapolis. In 1923, Forrest Mars Sr., son of Frank's first wife, Veronica, was inspired by a then-popular milkshake to introduce the Milky Way bar. The new product was advertised as a chocolate malted milk in a candy bar, gaining the new product popularity, which made it one of the best-selling candy bars ever. Having gained traction after the successful new product the company introduced in 1929, Frank moved the company to Bakersfield, California. It was there full production of the Milky Way bar was started in a processing plant that remains firm to date.
The best candy on earth comes from Mars Milky Way.
While in this new processing plant, Frank did not settle for the product he'd already made despite its huge success. So fueled by passion, Frank introduced a new product for his company, the Snicker bar, which would later become one of the largest names in the chocolate family.
Packed with peanuts, Snickers really satisfies.
Snickers takes care of the kids' hunger till dinner.
The new product was first sold only in the American market, but today Snickers are available almost all over the globe. Where there's a candy store, there's likely a Snicker chocolate bar. But since then, how has been the journey for this bar that continues to serve people with the same nutty, caramelly, chocolate vibe for a period nearing 100 years? When Snickers was first introduced to the market in 1930, it was made of nougat, peanuts, and caramel ingredients, which was a thing back then. To retain its legacy, the bar is still made the same way it was in the 1930s. When these candy bars hit the market, they caused a lot of controversy because of the price. When it was released, most candies from other brands were 5 cents, but the Snicker bar, it was sold at 4 times the price of a normal candy, selling at 20 cents a single bar. Most people regarded it as a ridiculously high price. But despite being considered high price, the bar still found its way to consumers thanks to the era when people heavily consumed candy bars during the Great Depression. During this period, a lot of people were facing great economic hardships, which let them deviate their attention to other things so they could relax and enjoy the moment. And one of the things that most people chose to do was eat candy because it was cheap and readily available. The new high price the Snicker bar came out with was a turning point for the candy bar industry. It elevated the candy to a notoriety point that might have, in one way or another, helped people take the candy business with more seriousness. As time passed, the bar became even more popular, making the company sell the product in different forms like Snicker Minis, a dark chocolate version, ice cream products, and even protein bars. The bar even now started to expand to other regions of the world. However, when it was introduced in the UK and Ireland, it was sold under another name, the Marathon Bar, until 1990. Marathon Bar was discontinued since it did not meet all the requirements and expectations of the Mars Company. Also, it got discontinued because it was leading to some confusion among consumers. In the early 80s, Snickers was made the official snack for the 1984 Olympic Games after closing a deal for $5 million.
Caramel and milk chocolate.
Satisfies you.
Official snack food of the 1984 Olympic Games.
This brought a new level of popularity and attention to the candy, catapulting it to international heights. During the early 2000s, Scotland started selling deep-fried Snickers at most of their fast food eateries. This trend became so popular it found its way to the U.S., and with the continued popularity of the product, a famous chef, Anthony Worrall Thompson from the UK, made a pie purely out of Snickers in 2012. Unfortunately, this was rated as the unhealthiest pie ever since each slice had 1,250 calories. During this period, the Mars Company had another equally well-performing chocolate bar known as the Mars Bar. The bar had been around since 1932, only 2 years after the Snicker bar production started. The bar doesn't differ much from the regular chocolate bar on the market, but the British version of the Mars Bar is quite notable because it consists of caramel and nougat coated with milk chocolate. The American version was different, as it included toasted almonds without the caramel. Still later on, the contents of the bar were reconsidered. Caramel was added to the ingredients that consisted of the Mars Bar in the American version. The Mars Bar was invented by Forrest Mars Sr., but its history spans way back earlier than 1932. Before making his own venture, Forrest Mars worked with his father, where he had minor disputes as they were working together, which led him to start his own company. Despite not seeing eye to eye, Forrest's father gave his son money to start his own candy operation, which gave birth to the Mars Bar. The exact amount of cash is not actually known even as of today, but the figures are said to be somewhere between $5,000 and $50,000. As much as it may seem quite a lot, this amount was still not enough for Forrest, since he even kick-started operations with second-hand machines. It also took him quite a moment before he was well established not to buy chocolate from other companies rather than making his own. When the Mars Bar was first produced, the company that manufactured it had only 12 people working to make sure the bar was tailored to fit the European taste. The Mars Bar was originally advertised using Cadbury's couverture. Unfortunately, Frank C. Mars, Forrest's father, died just 2 years after Forrest started his own company. Forrest's business had not yet gained traction at that moment, and it was still facing financial problems. After his father's death, Forrest did merge his company and his father's company, which was already well established, forming an international family-owned enterprise. After the merger, the working conditions of the Mars Bar workers improved. They got more benefits, including pensions, medical care, a newsletter, and cafeteria services. The merger also helped in a way that the Mars Bar became popular, and within no time, the bar sold worldwide except for the U.S. market. Despite all the Mars bars sold in the world, there are minor differences, but what is most notable is the packaging. It has remained the same design of black-colored wrapper with red gold edge lettering for the longest. In 2002, the Mars Bar saw major changes that led to the previously iconic, reputable design. The Mars Bar was reformulated. Its logo, too, received changes. It was redesigned to have an updated look with a more recursive appearance globally, except for the Australian market, which retained the previous look. In 2002, the distinct American version of the Mars Bar was discontinued. However, the American version of the bar returned to the market as a Walmart-exclusive product. Unfortunately, it was also discontinued the following year in 2011. As if it had not had enough, the American Mars Bar once again resurfaced in September of 2017 under Ethel M. Chocolate, a subsidiary of Mars Incorporated. The quality of the Mars Bar in America was maintained as the original one, so the legacy of the bar would live on. Due to its popularity, the European version of the Mars Bar sold to the British market has also been sold in the American market. Despite other younger brands springing up in the chocolate bar market, the Mars Bar has managed to stay afloat in the market thanks to its large following of loyal fans. Most people have always compared products that are in the same market, each person with their own reason as to why they prefer one product over the other. For Mars Bars made, it's no different. The United Kingdom Mars Bar has often been compared with reputable Milky Way bars. The American bar has been compared to a product from the same company, also a giant of the candy market, the Snickers bar. The Mars bar has, over the years, had numerous spin-offs, versions, all being inspired by the main product. Likewise, Mars and Snickers have continued to compete in the same market for years. However, as much as they compete, the sales of either trace right back to the parent company, Mars Incorporated. The two don't seem to be slowing down anytime soon, more than 5 generations after the family-owned company Mars Incorporated was established, making the parent company a true powerhouse in the candy market. So which bar is your favorite? Let us know in the comments below. And thanks for watching. Don't forget, subscribe and activate those notifications for more inspiring videos. Cheers.